when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Yes, today is Monday, July the 7th, the start of a new work week. Yes, we enter July the 7th. My name is AMPLIA, and it's good to be here with you all this morning. I hope that you all are ready to go. I believe school is closing, either school is closing or this is the last week of school. So yes, the streets will be a bit clearer and you could get to work faster, but also just get up, get ready, don't be late to work. My name is AMPLIA, like I said before, and this week is going to be a great week.
Good morning and welcome again to the morning show. I am Adana Kumbi. As AMPLIA said, it's the 7th day of July 2025 and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and we will be glad in it. Indeed, lighter traffic on our nation's roads this morning. We will be, of course, driving. Of course, you still have to remain safe on the nation's roads. You still have to drive safely to get to where you have to get to. I know the children are eager for their vacation period, and I know that there are lots of camps going on and getting ready for the children, as I think some camps are starting as early as next week. As soon as the doors close at school, the camp doors will be open, so our children will be ready to go out to camp. Parents, what camps are you sending your children to? We'd like to know. You can always leave your comments on our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channel. AMPLIA, you know, we're winding down. School term is coming to an end. For those children who are still in school, and when I say still in school, those who have not written the SEA or the CSEC exams, this week's supposed to be report week, so they're supposed to be getting back their report books. And I know some students, they kind of eager to get them, and some of them like, I don't really need my report this week.
Some of them hoping at the parents, you know,
you know, but whatever the result is, I mean, each parent's supposed to know their child. Look for their weaknesses and try to help them to strengthen their weaknesses. And the ones that they excel in, celebrate them. You know, celebrate them for the ones that they excel in and give them the support for the areas where they need some strengthening up.
I agree. And I know those that wrote the SEA and the CSEC, they really, you know, they get to relax now. They can know their results. They know the schools that they're going to, you know. And those who did CSEC, this graduation season, they're getting to celebrate with them, with their friends, and so it's really an exciting time for them. It's a time of transition, and I hope that they spend this July-August vacation, you know, just relaxing a little bit, but also preparing themselves to take that new step.
That's right. And you know, I want to put a plug in here, and I want to say congratulations to Signal Hill Government Primary School. I mean, Signal Hill Government Primary School, I think they came first, second, fourth, in the top 5, right? So I must say, congratulations to Miss Devines, Principal Trisha Devines. Congratulations to you, the Vice Principal, the senior teachers, all the teachers, the students there, and the parents, the community that came together to help the children. And in fact, congratulations to all our children. Again, I know we said this on Friday, but we have to say congratulations to all of you. Your efforts were not in vain. And remember, wherever you end up come September morning, you can shine. Be the best version of yourself. Parents, support your children, and children, shine. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't, but because you can, you are a champion and you can do great and amazing things.
You know, Signal Hill, before you continue, Signal Hill has been doing so well over the years. You know, I would even go as far as to say, since I was in primary school, Signal Hill has been excellent, and it's really admirable to see that no matter who the principal is, they have that sense of continuity in the school. And I think that they are really a model for a lot of primary schools to fashion themselves behind. And we pray and we hope that Signal Hill continues.
That's right. And you know, I feel as if our primary schools are mostly doing pretty okay. I mean, there are areas that, of course, there's always room for improvement, you know. But I really feel good hearing the results in terms of, Signal Hill and all the other schools that did well, that presented students who excelled. And I want to continue to remind those who feel as if I could have done better, they have another opportunity. Once you get into that secondary school, focus. What do you want to achieve? How about we tell our children this? Focus on what do you want to achieve. It's not too early for you to start setting goals, start determining what you want to do at the end of first term, in first form. What do you want to achieve? Do you want to come in the top 5? Do you want to excel in math, in English? Where do you want to shine? And just step by step, set your goals until you get to a good place where you know you can excel. And this is coming from all of us here at Tobago Updates Television. We really truly do appreciate you, and we are supporting you full 100. The Tobago community is behind all of you who are entering new schools, new classes, new forms. You're taking on new projects. We are supporting you all. All right, so we have a lovely show lined up for our viewers this morning, and we do hope that you could stay with us throughout the entire program. And remember, you can leave your comments on our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channel. But before we get into conversations, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Good morning. I am Lavian Cupid, and here's what's making your news in 90 seconds for Monday, 7 July 2025. A search is currently on for 31-year-old Michael Yates of Campbellton, Charlottesville, who was reported missing by close relatives early yesterday morning. Preliminary reports from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service indicates that Yates, who is also epileptic, was last seen at around 7 p.m. on Saturday night by persons in the village walking in a southerly direction along Main Street. It is believed that Yates ventured to Bottom Bay for a sea bath. The TTPS and local fisherfolk mounted a search at sea for the missing man, which continued until nightfall, but was unsuccessful up until 7 p.m. last evening. When Tobago Update spoke to officers attached to the Charlottesville police station, however, authorities say the search will resume at daybreak today. This is a developing story, and more details will be made available in a subsequent newscast. In some sad news, Tobago has lost a great and remarkable talent as singer Kay Allen has passed away. Allen, who rose to stardom in 2007 following her dynamic win at the Digital Rising Stars competition, battled cancer to the very end. The 44-year-old hails from the village of Bonaccord and began her journey as an artist in the gospel arena, which she has always recognized as her first love. Allen, who has shared the stage at Madison Square Gardens with gospel icons such as showstoppers such as Lionel Richie, Diana Ross, and Freddie Jackson, amongst others. Most notably, in 2010, she performed I'm Every Woman at the Tobago Jazz Festival with the iconic Shaka Khan. Her undeniable talent granted her awards from the Trinidad and Tobago National Music Festival, World Championship of Performing Arts, and the Best Original Composition Award for her song Lord, I Lift You Up. Tributes to Allen have been pouring in from fans and colleagues in the music fraternity. And finally, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar will be absent from the 49th sitting of the CARICOM Leaders Conference to be held in Jamaica today. In a media release on Saturday, the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs noted that Minister Sean Sobers will lead the delegation to the conference and will be joined by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander. The release stated that Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar sent written greetings to this year's host, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness, and briefed her ministers on the critical relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and CARICOM. However, this decision has been met with criticism and questions as to why the newly elected Prime Minister will be absent from such an important CARICOM heads meeting. Former Foreign Affairs Minister under the PNM administration, Amy Brown, said the Prime Minister should have been in attendance, as her absence sends the wrong message to CARICOM. He further added that Ministers Alexander and Sobers are new ministers and questioned their ability to engage in such a sensitive diplomatic talks, as TNT is responsible for regional security and energy for CARICOM. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Lavian, for our news there in 90 seconds. Your last news story, very, very interesting developments there. And, you know, sometimes I want to reserve comments, but sometimes there's something called accountability. And where are the words this morning? You know, I don't understand. I don't know if there's more details in terms of the absence of the Prime Minister attending the meeting.
Yeah. But none was given though, and in circumstances like this, I don't know if you guys recall, but right after the general election, and even before pre-general election, April 28th, there were lots of rumors circulating within the political fraternity, if I should say that about the health condition of our newly elected Prime Minister, whether she's well. And even when there was the issue of the Prime Minister's office being ready for her to assume duties and she worked from home, there was also that conversation came up again. What is the health situation with the Prime Minister? Is she well to travel back and forth? And so I believe following this, we will be back there having those conversations about the health care of the health condition of our Prime Minister, even though she did say that she is in perfect health and she is well and able to conduct her duties. But when you leave blank spaces, everyone fills it in with whatever.
There's room for speculation, and that's exactly what happens. You know, there's room for speculation. And the thing is, you're right, Lavian, if we don't have the information, then you create your own narrative. You know, you come with your own story, you look at, as you mentioned, you go back in history and you think, you try to connect the dots yourself. And so I'm hoping that some measure of clarity will come so that we don't have to be going through this cycle all the time. And that, you know, I feel as if we need to restore confidence so that people can be confident and say, listen, this is the situation we are in, and this is why certain things are happening. But if we don't know, then we're left to speculate.
Yeah, and I think for me personally, with the lack of a reason being given, it really sends a bad signal to our Caribbean neighbors. Trinidad and Tobago has been a pivotal, crucial part of CARICOM over the decades. And with the transitioning of administrations, it will send a strong signal to the rest of CARICOM that we are still in it, we're still the partners, we still want to have good relations with the Prime Minister showing up at the heads of government meeting. But when you send a signal that you are not showing up, you're new to the administration, you're new in office, you're not showing up, and you don't give a reason why you're not showing up, it, like you all said, it leaves room for speculation, and it doesn't particularly start the relationship off on a strong footing.
But perhaps a reason was given to CARICOM and probably not to us. We don't know. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes. So
might be, but also to continue the conversation, how ready are Minister Sobers and Alexander for such diplomatic talks, such critical diplomatic talks? I don't know if persons are well aware that most of the Caribbean depend on Trinidad and Tobago for energy. A lot of the oil and gas that pass through Trinidad and Tobago, we don't look for it only for ourselves. We have signed agreements that we feed many member states up the island. So how ready are they for this conversation and for the talks, and to be able to actually answer pertinent questions that will be asked by other member states? And I mean, we're not questioning their abilities here, but experience in the political arena is quite important in diplomatic relations, to be able to make sure that these diplomatic relations are not hostile, are not questionable as well, because you don't want member states questioning whether or not we can still facilitate what we have signed to and what we agree to.
I know that the government would have said that they were briefed, the Prime Minister would have briefed them on the government's positions on certain matters, and that the Prime Minister also said that she spoke with the other CARICOM heads previously, virtually, concerning these matters. So maybe it could be a case where the Foreign Affairs Minister is just going to basically rub a stamp on the policies that they've already discussed beforehand. I'm not sure. But again, even if a reason was given to CARICOM, how does it look when you, let's say you do give a reason to CARICOM, but you don't give a reason to your own population, your own public that would like to see you representing us there? I mean, like you said, Adana, we don't know the circumstances, but at the same time,
room for speculation.
Some sort of reason should be given to the public.
Well, we'll see how it unfolds, and you know, that area there for accountability is very, very important. And we continue to say right here on this show that we want you to remain accountable. Give us the information so we don't speculate, we don't create narratives, and that we don't run away with stories that we're not certain about. All right, Lavian, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. You as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. And you know, we here at Tobago Updates Television, we love a good celebration. And we start off this morning by saying happy birthday to Amina Morgan. Amina Morgan is celebrating a birthday today. And so we say happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have an amazing birthday today. So happy birthday to you.
Continue the celebrations, and we say happy birthday to Miss Saran Ramsey. Miss Saran Ramsey, happy birthday to you. Wish you God's greatest blessings. We know it's kind of damp outside, but it's still your special day, and we pray that you safely celebrate it and you have all the fun in a safe manner, and you surround yourself with friends and family and those who love you, and we wish you all God's richest blessings.
Shamari Hector, he's also celebrating a birthday today, and we say happy birthday to you. We do pray God's blessings upon your life, and we hope that this year, as you enter this new chapter, this new phase, that you are satisfied in fulfilling your purpose. We do hope that you receive the wisdom that you need to carry on the duties that you have to carry on, and that you have an amazing experience with family, friends, loved ones, and well-wishers. So happy birthday to you, Shamari.
Happy birthday to Kevon Woodley, also known as Showtime. Yes, Kevon Woodley, national footballer. Showtime, God's richest blessings to you. You're loved son of the soil of Tobago. We wish that you're surrounded with family and friends and well-wishers, and that you celebrate today in the best way you know how.
All right, and even if we don't have your photographs, you know, we still celebrate with you this morning, and we remind you to put God first, because he is the sole reason why there's even anything for you to celebrate. It's Monday morning, and you might be wondering, what's in my cup? What's in my cup is sponsored by LCJ Delights, and this morning I'm drinking sorrel bay leaf tea. Yes, I'm feeling that kind of, spirit this morning, so I'm having sorrel bay leaf tea this morning. It's sponsored by LCJ Delights. They are located at the Signal Hill Micro Enterprise Complex, so you can find them there for your teas. You can find them there for flour to make your waffles, pancakes, and even your porridge, all your breakfast meals. So that's that for LCJ this morning. Akin Labi, who are we having conversations with this morning in studio?
Okay, Adana, this morning we're having conversations with Miss Sharon Williams, who is the acting ASP of the TTPS, and she's going to be giving us the TTPS updates and safety of children during the July-August vacation period. Up next, we're going to have Miss Coris Nancis, and she's coming in to talk about the Fibroid Awareness Month 2025. July is Fibroid Awareness Month. And finally, we're going to have on Miss Sierra Brebner and Miss Tanisha Brebner. And Miss Sierra Brebner is one of the top 10 SCA achievers in Tobago. So we're going to have a conversation with her and her mother concerning their experience.
All right, viewers, we have that lovely show lined up for you this morning, and we do hope that you could stay with us throughout the entire programming. So whether you're right here in Tobago, Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, Canada, England, Asia, Australia, Europe, Africa, wherever you are, this is your opportunity to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe Land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. But I forget to tell all you, it's our 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And we have in studio with us Ms. Sharon Williams, the acting ASP of the TTPS. And she's here to talk to us about the TTPS updates and safety of children during the July-August vacation period. Good morning and welcome, ASP.
Thank you. Good morning to you.
Okay, so we want to get straight into the TTPS updates. Can you give us any updates on the crime statistics, developments in investigations, that you would be, or the TTPS is able to give us right now?
Right. For the past week, the division had recorded 5 reports of serious crimes, 4 of which are break-ins. Now, earlier in the week, we would have one of them, which is robbery, which occurred in this Cabo district, and I know that captured a lot of public interest, right? And the police are presently investigating all those reports. We have had certain leads in terms of information received from different stakeholders and members of the communities. So in time, we are hoping that we'll be able to bring those perpetrators of these crimes before the court.
Okay. So has the TTPS, are you all continuing doing public education and person safeguarding their properties and that kind of thing to minimize the occurrences of break-ins?
Right, and I'm glad you bring that up. continuously through our patrols or station councils or walkabout, we continue to implore on residents and business owners to safeguard their properties, right? We reiterate target hardening. And when we say target hardening, we mean that, you're lighting around your premises, whether it's your residence or your business, the entry to your business properly secured. And it makes no sense that you have you have a business with thousands, millions of dollars, and the security system to that business is not good enough. You spend like, say, $1,000 on the door or so forth. So we cannot employ business owners and residents alike to ensure that they are safe, they secure their businesses properly. Use even camera systems and so forth to assist in securing these businesses.
I know you recently, ASP, I know you recently installed the mobile police units in Scarborough. I don't know if it's sufficient time for you all to make an assessment in terms of what has been the response and the feedback that you have been getting with the police presence in the heart of Scarborough.
Right. Yes, the mobile unit was installed there on Wednesday of last week, and it was something that was long in the making. And I just want to say that thanks to our business owner, we were able to bring this initiative into fruition because the mobile unit was down and needed a lot of repairs. And through partnership with that business owner, we were able to bring this initiative into fruition. Now, to say that if it have any effect, yes, we are already seeing results in that area. That is an area of interest. And if we look back at last year, we know we have a lot of violent crime coming out of that area. So the public welcome the initiative of having the mobile unit there. We will expect a lot of operations in that area in a bit to curb the illegal activities in that area.
ASP, I don't know, you spoke earlier about business owners taking some preventative measures in the TPS's conversations with the business community. Do you think that the business community has been very responsive in taking being preemptive in taking those measures seriously?
Generally, yes. They are very active in our station councils, right? And they even bring suggestions to us as police officers, right? And remember, we can't do it alone, so we welcome the ideas to assist us as well. So yes, I would say there's a few who still not up to standard in terms of securing their businesses and residents. But yes, generally, I could say they are taking the advice of the police.
All right, so we want to switch gears a little bit and move to the topic of this morning, which is safety of our children during the July-August vacation period. And I know some parents either send their children to camp or some of them they stay home. And I know we've had conversations about children being unsupervised at home, being a very, very, very serious matter that we have to look into. So I wanna go through in terms of from the TTPS angle. How do you provide the measure of safety and security for our children during that period?
Right. And let me start with this by saying a child under the law is somebody who is under the age of 18. Right. We know in many homes, parents would leave their children. I leave them with the big one. The big one really not 18. It might be a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, or 11-year-old, as the case may be. So we advise against that, right? That is the law. They must be supervised. And I also want to stress on something too. Section 4 of the Children Act talks about the parents responsible. They are ultimately responsible for the safety of their children. So you as a parent are responsible for preventing that child from any harm, bringing any harm, or exposing that child, or cause that child to be exposed to any sort of atmosphere or anything like that that will bring harm or injury to that child. So the parent, we want to reiterate that, the parent is ultimately responsible for the safety and the security of the child. With that being said, right, we're looking at let us start within the home in terms of safety, right? Not every parent work, right? So they may be home with that child. Now, being at home doesn't always mean that the child is being supervised, right? So you have incidents where children might go into the kitchen and get burned or something like that. So the parents will be held accountable if you see that the act is willful, right? There was willful neglect there. So we could start right there within the home. So it's not just outside of the home in terms of safety of the children. Now, when we go outside of the home now, we look at, we have a lot of camps. Parents will send their children to a lot of camps, a lot of social events, right? And we are just asking that parents, you do your due diligence with sending your children to these camps. Don't just look at it as a avenue of having a place for the child to stay during the time when you are absent from home or work, or you have to go to work or anything like that. Do your due diligence. So we're asking that you check with the operators, the supervisors, the environment in which this child is going to be placed at, right? Contact information for those persons who are supervising the operation of whatever the camp or social event is. So things like that.
Okay.
I mean, I know you spoke about ensuring that there's supervision at home. Let's say, for instance, the parent is going out and you have the two children home. Let's say a 17-year-old on the verge of 18, not yet 18, 17-year-old and probably a younger child perhaps. And you run into the supermarket real quick. And you don't really want to bundle them up in the car because they're probably doing homework or watching TV or something. And you leave them with, you tell a neighbor on your way out, just cast your eye on the children for me. How?
Right. You could ask your neighbor to do that, right? And again, you're saying you must know who your neighbor, all right? Your neighbors are, right, to an extent, right? It's not only neighbors are trustworthy, you might really tell them that. But they wouldn't really pay attention. So the onus is still on the parent.
Still on the parent. Oh, okay.
On the parent, right, to ensure that that child is supervised.
Sorry, but there was a question I wanted to ask concerning that, because I know over the years we've seen cases where parents have been charged with abandoning the children because let's say they went out on the party or the line for a weekend and they now come back a day or two later, they get charged. What is the time frame, the amount of time a parent has to be away from a child to be charged?
There's no time frame,
There's no time frame?
There's no time frame, right? Remember, the law caters that these are children and they must be supervised, right? The supervision, we advise parents or guardians that the person who you leave to supervise that child must be a trusted adult. And we may talk about what is a trusted adult? You must be the first judge. You must know that person. You must know what that person is capable of. You wouldn't put somebody who always consuming alcohol or engaging marijuana smoking. They might be at home. The neighbor might be smoking. When we go back to the same incident where you talk about the neighbor casting an eye, that neighbor might come across with his cigarettes and with marijuana and smoking there, and you're not supposed to be smoking around children, even though you are smoking at home, but you must not smoke with the children around, right? So all these things that parents have to take into consideration with respect to the children.
No, I know July, August is a time where children like to spend with their friends, they like to go to the cinema, to the beach. They also like to perhaps go to a party here and there. What advice can you give to parents to sort of allow their children to have that time to enjoy with their friends, but to also be safe?
All right. Now, yes, we have, it's a period where the children really socialize, right? And we advise that parents have open communication with their children. Talk to their children about the ills, right, of alcohol and drug use, and making proper choices in terms of the company they keep, right? Now, if these children are going out with with their peers, right? We ask that the parent know who they are going out with, have numbers for these children, have numbers for the parents of the children who are in the group, right? Also, it is good that they could have a chaperone. You drop them off, one of the parents would drop them off. They could hang around the area in terms of doing a little supervision of the children in the social event, and also be there available to take them back home as well.
I know a lot goes into ensuring that the child is supervised, but as you said, the responsibility really is on the parent. And sometimes it's just so much more convenient to just run out the road really quickly, drop off the child to the party and go back home and probably sleep until they must be called to say, well, come back for me. Those things are so much more convenient, but the more important thing I know for certain, especially being a parent myself, is ensuring that the child's well-being is taken care of, that you ensure that the child is safe. And I just want to join with the TTPS this morning to all our viewers out there to ensure whatever is happening. I know it's busy time and it's more convenient because you have to work, you have your own projects ongoing, and the children are away from school, meaning that they are your sole responsibility during the hours of work. But let's make an extra effort to ensure that they are well supervised and well taken care of, and that they remain safe, because at the end of the day, you don't want anything happening to your child, and you of course don't want to be charged for neglect and abandonment. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
Just reiterate, parents, you are ultimately responsible for the safety and security of your children. You don't want all the hard work that they would have put on for the year. It's really a celebratory period, especially for those with SCA and so forth. And it's a stress reliever for those who have done their CXC and CAPE exam. We don't want all that to go down to the drain in any wasteful action. So again, parents, you are ultimately responsible for the safety and security of your children.
All right. Thank you so very much for bringing that information to us. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with ASP Sharon Williams, and then you heard it here. The responsibility really is yours to ensure that your child is well supervised during the July-August vacation. Even though they are going out to camps, you have to do your due diligence to ensure that it's a reputable camp and that the supervision meets the standards. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations this morning, and as we go, we invite you to help us.
Share the live, share the live, share the live.
We'll be right back.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Lights, cameras, dance. Our 12th edition on Saturday the 12th of July, 5 p.m. The Shore Park Cultural Complex Auditorium. See our dancers, all ages, compete in waltz, jive, rumba, salsa, mambo, and much more. Our Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Who will take home the Mirrorball Trophy? Mrs. Tatiana Ned Augustine, the wife of the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. Miss Lynette Louis, vocalist entertainer. Mrs. Cassandra Thompson Forbes, journalist and Tobago correspondent. Mr. Javon Carrington, founder and head trainer of Dosfit Studios. And Mr. Julian Skeet, administrator and former TV host. After show, dance party with DJ Santa out of Trinidad. Early bird tickets, adults $200, children $75, and general tickets, adults $250 and children $100. Get your early bird tickets now from Dance Ensemble members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford the 24 gas station in Canaan, and the Shore Park Cultural Complex box office. For more information, you call 772-9049 and 340-5758. You can't miss this one.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 bottle of rum, DJ start the thing, let me jump. Cause I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 girls to a man, DJ start the thing, let me rum my shit. When my team touch down, everything get wild. Hey, 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 take out your flag and fling it up, take out something and fling it up, fling it up, fling it up high. Hey, 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 start to jump up and fling it up, take out something and fling it up.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue conversations this morning in studio, and we speak with Mrs. Coris Nancis. We're talking about Fibroid Awareness Month for 2025. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning and thank you.
Of course. I know a lot of persons have had some type of interaction with fibroid, whether they had it themselves or they know somebody who has fibroid. But there are also a wide cross section who they don't know much about it. They don't have any experience with it. And so we want to bring some clarity in terms of what is fibroid and why is it important for us to have the knowledge about it.
All right. So thanks again for the opportunity. And I think misconceptions are a good place to start at, right? Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the fact that we live in a space where people refer to fibroids as fireballs, fryboils, fryballs. I've heard so many terms, mm-hmm. right? And you are correct. Fibroids impacts many lives, whether directly or indirectly. In fact, we are in Trinidad and Tobago. We are in Tobago, and a large cross-section of our population are Afro descent. And fibroids impacts women, black women, women of Afro descent, women of color, 2 to 3 times more than any other race. Right? So fibroids are benign growths. When I say benign, they are not cancerous. The likelihood of them becoming cancerous is very small. And they are growths that occur on or around the uterus, which is the female reproductive organ. And so they impact women. But they also impact men because we live in a space, we exist in a space with men. So whether brothers, uncles, husbands, you know, it can be devastating and debilitating for families.
And you know, the uterus, as you said, the female reproductive organ, is a very, very volatile thing. It's a very sacred and precious thing for a woman, especially. Whether she wants to have children or not, she wants to have the power and the ability to decide, I'm going to have, I'm not going to have.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk a little bit about the impact of the fibroid on the uterus. What does it actually mean? I mean, I know you said 2 to 3 times more for black women, but what does it actually mean for us as women?
And the symptoms are actually more grave, I would say. So let me make my disclaimer. I am not a doctor.
Yes.
We have doctors who support the organization. I must make a plug for Dr. Marielle Armstrong from Tobago, UK based. She has been one of them who has supported the vision from the beginning. But from my own experience and all the research and having founded this organization and supported many women through the years, what fibroids may mean, right? Because it's not absolute. You can't have fibroids and be asymptomatic, have no symptoms at all. But then you can have fibroids, and the symptoms can range from very heavy menstrual cycles to becoming anemic, bulking or distended or protruding stomach. So some women can look pregnant and not be pregnant. Right? So there are a full range of symptoms, but a lot of the common symptoms are the extreme cramping, severe pains, lots of clotting, and the blood loss. And as you can imagine, anemia, if it's prolonged or sustained, can have serious impacts on the body. Your heart races. It can weaken the heart because the heart is not working over time to transport less blood around the body, right? So fibroids can be very debilitating. I think culturally we have been taught that painful periods are a rite of passage, but painful periods are actually not normal. Extremely painful periods. And I mean, it can be subjective, right? When I think of my journey, this journey started, I'll say 20 years ago. So I had just migrated to a new place, a new space, right? And then comes this strange diagnosis because of an experience that, or symptoms that were getting worse. Fibroids. What are fibroids? I couldn't find any information, at least not in a central space, and information that was related to Black women, what to do, where to go. You know, the information was just so piecemeal, and that is what really started the journey. But they say hindsight is 20/20, and so when I look back on my teenage years, it was happening then, right? Based on the age that I was, by the time I got the diagnosis and the sizes they were, this thing was affecting me since high school. But again, culturally, we just think, you know, it's just okay, pain, take painkillers, hot water, drink the bush. I'm not knocking the bush because lifestyle changes are a big part of the advocacy that we do, because of course there are the surgical treatment options, and then there are the lifestyle changes that persons may want to choose, because of course the thought of surgery can be very daunting. And so that is how Fibroid Awareness Trinidad and Tobago was born, and that is why we are so passionate about education and awareness. And we have our Confidence Project, which takes us into schools and communities, and then of course it's Fibroid Awareness Month, right? And so we thought, why not return with a bang, because we have been a bit quiet for some time. Life happens, and life really happened for me in the past 4 years. And so while we were continuing the online work, because we do have a virtual presence, and we do get calls from as far as Jamaica, Grenada, St. Lucia, people reach out because of the presence that we've established through the years, and we do provide the support online and guidance, the actual groundwork back into the communities. We promised ourselves that 2025 will be the year. And why not Fibroid Awareness Month, which was founded by an organization called the White Dress Project in the US, very similar to ours, just advocating for women to be empowered and equipped with the information to make the best choices for themselves.
So I wanted to ask a question concerning the prevalence of fibroids. I don't know if they have that kind of data in Trinidad and Tobago. So I don't, but in your experience, does it seem to be very prevalent?
It is very prevalent, right? Just the anecdotal data, you're having the conversations. Someone knows someone who has fibroids, or who had fibroids, or fireballs, or fibroids, as I've heard locally. I am sure to Tobago Regional Health Authority, through their work at the Scarborough Regional Hospital, can share the myriad cases. And even when we started the organization and we were doing the research and looking for research, some of the papers that we found actually spoke to the high prevalence of fibroids and other issues of the uterus, right? So at Fibroid TT, of course, fibroid is the forerunning issue of the uterus, but it's only natural that we also speak about other issues. So I'm sure you've heard of the term cysts or PCOS, endometriosis, adenomyosis. There are a number of issues that affect the uterus. And we are really just committed to empowering and educating. It is said that the first step towards change is awareness. If you don't know, then you can't make the choices, or you may suffer in silence. And then, of course, there's a stigma, the taboo around menstruation, period, the word, oh, right? And then even perceived infertility, right? And I'm always very cautious and careful to explain fibroids do not automatically mean that you cannot have children, because you can have fibroids and have children, right? And that segues straight into the first session we'll be having on Wednesday. It's fibroids and pregnancy. That is a virtual session, so that's on July 9th. Dr. Mariella Armstrong, who's actually specialized in this area, will be doing the presentation on that. And then on the 14th, we can't forget nutrition. Fibroids are linked to estrogen dominance, which speaks to hormones. And so lifestyle and nutrition, the things that we are exposed to, even the chemicals, you know, beauty products, all those things, and the relaxers, there have been research that have linked relaxers to fibroid growth. All those things. So we're having a presentation with Mrs. Melissa Agbeko Walker. She's a health and wellness coach, and she will be doing the presentation on fibroids and nutrition. And then we have a general in-person awareness and support session at the Scarborough Library Activity Center, 5:30. Please be on time. The library closes at 6 p.m. They'll accommodate us, but you have to get in before the library closes. And so we round up after that now with our free women's clinic, which we're most excited about. Big thanks to Dr. Alimayu Chadban of Optimal Health Services Limited in Blackrock, who has graciously given us his space. And this is something we've always wanted to do. So free ultrasounds, free consultations. Come out and support us. You get this information on our website, www.ttconfidenceproject.org. And we are on all social media platforms with the exception of TikTok. We're not there as yet. But you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, not so much, but you could get all the information at Fibroid TT, Fibroid Awareness Trinidad and Tobago. And again, that website is www.ttconfidenceproject.org.
And you know, I like the lineup in terms of the information that will be shared throughout the couple of weeks in July, the month of July rather.
Yes.
But how does someone participate? How do you register? Is there a link? Is there a form?
Of course. So the virtual sessions will be via the Zoom platform. So you have to register and you will be able to access the link. All that information is online, or you can WhatsApp 362-1807, 362-1807. And you will get that information. And for the clinic, as well as the session at the library, it's open to the public, right? For the session at the library, you can come in. Of course, we want pre-registration because we are about data and staying connected with persons. And then for the free clinic, as you would imagine, free ultrasounds, free consultations, there might be some excitement there. So you have to get in early because there will be some assessment, and then we will confirm whether you've been able to. But the clinic itself is free. You can walk in at the venue, which is on the Blackrock Main Road, right before the community center when you're entering Blackrock from the west, which is from Mount Irving side, right? So on the right hand side, just before, you can't miss it, you'll see the tents, you'll probably hear some music and see the buzzing of activity, but it's all about registration, and we'll provide the information for you once you find us online.
Okay.
You know, I think this is a really, really good opportunity for all of us here on the island of Tobago. You know, take the opportunity, get the information, be in the know. It might not affect you directly, but it might affect somebody who you know and who you love, and you want to be able to provide that measure of support that they would need to go through this this phase of their lives. Because I mean, I'm telling you, as a woman, it ain't easy out here, but support is there, and so you should, of course, register, get the information, and be a part of what is happening here in Tobago for Fibroid Awareness Month. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on our program and bringing the information, and I wish you all the success, and I hope people come out in their droves. In fact, I want you to be able to say, oh my gosh,
yes.
You know, so all the best there. And women, this is for
and
you.
Men. Women and men, right?
Let's not forget them at all.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Of course, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations here in studio this morning. And as we go, we invite you to help us.
Share the live, share the live, share the live.
We'll be right back.
Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17th, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. But I forget to tell all you, it's we 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, yeah? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but I have to be cousin Tufina tell me for call all you go get proper thing for put there. Me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trade Springer down by the page down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who
with your family. You know Edna and Doka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward one, them Edward people, them you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russell Tree Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue conversations this morning, and we speak today with Miss Sierra Brebner. You might know that name. She is one of our top 10 SEA achievers this year, and we also have in studio with us her mother, Tanisha Brebner, as well. And good morning and welcome, ladies.
Good morning.
Oh my goodness, I like that. Good morning. It's so innocent and so happy and so joyous. Sierra, I must start off by saying congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
Right, and now that it's over, you have the results and you've seen where you have placed. How do you feel? Let's start there. How do you feel?
I feel really excited and thankful.
And you know, what was it like when you found out that you came in the top 10? How did you feel? What did your parents say, your friends, your community, the people around you? What was it like?
I felt taken back because I was like, top 10? I didn't know I could have made that.
Right, so I'm happy that you know, that excitement was there. In terms of preparing, right? Because I read a little the congratulations that Miss Caruth wrote. I read it. So I know you put a lot in terms of preparing. And I also know that you had a lot on your plate in terms of extracurricular activities. How were you able to remain focused on what was important at the point in time, which of course was your SEA, and still being able to balance all those other things you were doing?
Well, I used to have a schedule on time. So let me say Boys Brigade was at 10. I'll start doing my work 8 o'clock, and at 9:50 I'll go change and then go Boys Brigade.
So you had everything planned out and lined out, and you knew exactly what you wanted to do. You set your goals and everything like that. And I also read in this congratulatory note that you were really pushing hard for the school of your choice, the school that you passed for one specific reason. And I want you to tell our viewers what that reason is.
Mama made us teach Compre.
Her mother teaches Compre and she did not want to go there. She wanted to go to Bishop's. And mommy, you know, as being a teacher yourself, you know, in terms of preparing Sierra for the exam, I know a lot of parents put pressure on the children because, I mean, at the end of the day, you really want your child to excel and to do their best. But what was it like for you, being one, a parent, and two, a teacher, seeing the stresses that the children have to go through?
Well, striking a balance was the hardest thing because you didn't want her to feel overwhelmed, but at the same time, you don't want to be too relaxed. Children have a tendency to get relaxed when they feel comfortable. So a lot of times I would get home from school and I usually say to people, my day begins now because I have 2 children and I go home and I have to go through their work, make sure they do their homework. When she does work, go over the work, read it over, see where she made errors. And in some cases where I can't help her, I would try to reach out to other teachers for assistance. So it was hard trying to strike a balance between all that she had going on and making sure that she still put in the extra effort.
And you know, she seems to be very organized in terms of having a schedule set up. How disciplined was she in terms of sticking to the schedule and ensuring she did what she had to do to get where she is now?
Very disciplined. Sierra has been disciplined since she was a lot more younger. We don't have to tell her to go and do your homework. She usually comes home and do her homework. We don't have to tell her go and read, go and do your project. she was always one to be on top of her work. So even when I was busy and was not on top of her work, she would always get it done. But I would just make sure to go through it. And she has the assistance of her grandmother as well, who is also a teacher. She's a retired teacher now. So all of us were on top of her, but she had that discipline to get the work done.
And Sierra, how important was it for you to ensure that you were able to still be a part of all the extracurricular activities and maintain your focus on school? How important was it for you to ensure you strike that balance? Because I know some parents or even some students, they kind of drop out of the curricular activities and focus just on the books. But for you, you were able to balance it. And why was it important for you to maintain both of them?
Well, it was important to me because balancing the work, I wanted to go and do a good job. And also, I wanted to do the Boys Brigade and March for Independence and so on.
You see, so it's all about setting goals. It's all about setting goals and having something to work towards. And, you know, I really like that about you, Sierra. So now you're going to Bishop's High School come September morning. You're going to meet new friends. You're going to have the schedule there is going to be different from primary school. All sorts of things are going to happen there. What are you looking forward to the most?
I'm really looking forward to these sports.
Sports? Oh, so she's an athlete. Mommy, can I say that Sierra is an athlete or she likes athletics?
Her mommy is the athlete. She would be aspiring. We had the conversation yesterday about the different groups that bishops would have highlighted that are there. So we are looking at least her trying 2 sporting events and still continuing 2 groups additionally at the school.
Ooh,
yes, so she has shown interest. She said she wants to try netball. I know Bishops has a good netball team. And she wants to try something in track, possibly because her mommy was an athlete. So.
All right. So, Sierra, you know, I really am proud of you. And, you know, I really wish you the best. I want you to focus, remain focused, just as focused as you are, and continue to be an example to those who, you know, you will form new friendships, and there might be some of your friends might be like, oh gosh, this is so hard, but just remind them, listen, if I could do it, you can do it too. And I want you to take this opportunity now to speak to your friends from your primary school, Signal Hill Government Primary School. I must put in a plug there. Signal Hill Government Primary School, all the other primary schools that will be coming together to join you at Bishops. Talk to them and let them know that they can do great things.
Even when you're doubting yourself, just know, pray, trust God, and everything will go through the right way.
You heard it right here on Tobago Updates from Miss Sierra Brebner. Pray, trust God, and put your best foot forward. Sierra, all the best to you when you enter Bishop's High School. Mommy, all the best to you as well. Continue supporting her and giving her all that she needs to continue to excel. And I'm quite certain that Sierra will be back here to give us an update or report as to how things are going at Bishop's High School. So all the best to you.
Thank you
very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we have to end the morning show on Tobago Updates Television on such a good note. And again, we say congratulations to all of our students who sat the SCA exam and received their results and preparing to enter big school, as you call it, come September morning. We end the morning show here, but we don't end our programming. We head on over to GMT, which is Good Morning Tobago. So stay with us. And as you stay, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
This career day is one of the most important days in the lives of the students, because these students are just discovering themselves, and we want to expose them to as much possibilities as possible, so that at the end of the day they will not only be limited to what they knew before. They will see, well, okay, maybe all the time I was stuck thinking that I wanted to do this, but there is something better for me to do. So better exposure, better choices means that you have a greater chance to succeed in life.
We have about 30 different booths. The professions vary from tertiary education to entrepreneurship, to employment after college or after high school, which is WASA. We have THTI, we also have MIC, COSTAT, and we have makeup artists, nail technicians, and barbering going on the inside of the building as well. Our theme this year is Step Out into New Possibilities, and I want my students to understand that it's not just a closed-minded thing where it's just early morning work for them. It's more creating your own employment, finding new ideas to create employment in Tobago. Don't sit and wait for somebody else to employ you.
It's wonderful is for us to get to know more about the careers that are out there that we need. If we want, we could join and become someone in life and don't end up on the streets or begging for little dollars and $2. I want to become a policeman to bring law and order to the society of Trinidad and Tobago.
It's a fun thing to let the kids learn about what they have to do in life and thing. My favorite part is the cooking part.
I think it is very inspiring to the upcoming youths.
I have been at a couple of career fairs in the sense of teaching children how to trim. Also, barbering is is something that has been overlooked, I should say, but is one of the most essential part of grooming, because men need to be groomed in order to go out to places, whether it be the workplace or out at parties, etc. And it tends to be overlooked. So I choose to come to the career fair to promote myself and also to teach people how to become a barber.
I believe in career fair because it allows for an opportunity for students to understand what career path that they would like to go into, and stepping into your new possibilities is one of the things I think is a good team, and what it allows for students to understand that they have to know their purpose, they have to know what they desire in life, and from that build on their brand and what they want to become as future generations.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. In some sad news, Tobago has lost a great and remarkable talent as singer Kay Allen has passed away. Allen, who rose to stardom in 2007 following her dynamic win at the Digital Rising Star competition, battled cancer to the very end. The 44-year-old hails from the village of Bonaccord and began her journey as an artist in the gospel arena, which she was always recognized for and claims to be her first love. Allen, who has shared the stage at Madison Square Garden with gospel icons such as Yolanda Adams, also opened for showstoppers like Lionel Richie, Diana Ross, and Freddie Jackson, among others. Most notably, in 2010, she performed I Am Every Woman at the Tobago Jazz Festival with icon Shaka Khan. Her undeniable talent granted her awards from Trinidad and Tobago National Music Festival, World Championship of Performing Arts, and Best Original Composition awards for her song, Lord, I Lift You Up. Tributes to Kate Allen have been pouring in from fans and colleagues in the music fraternity. And finally, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessor will be absent from the 49th sitting of CARICOM Leaders Conference to be held in Jamaica today. In a media release on Saturday, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and CARICOM Affairs noted that Minister Sean Sobers will lead the delegation to the conference and will be joined by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander. The release stated that Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessor sent written greetings to this year's host, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness, and briefed her ministers on the critical relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and CARICOM. However, this decision has been met with criticism and questions as to why the newly elected Prime Minister will be absent from such an important CARICOM heads of meeting. Former Foreign Affairs Minister under the PNM administration, Amory Brown, said the Prime Minister should have been in attendance as her absence sends the wrong message to CARICOM. He further added that Minister Alexander and Sobers are new ministers and questioned their ability to engage in such sensitive diplomatic talks, as Trinidad and Tobago is responsible for regional security and energy for CARICOM. And that was on news in 90 seconds. This morning we could kick off. And welcome back. As you have seen there, we are kicking off this morning's discussion by talking all about cricket. And this morning I have my colleague in with me as a guest. This morning I have Mr. Marcus Daniel, who is the Vice President of the Tobago Cricket Association, and he is joined by Mr. Chris Berry, who is the TCA Sport Tours Director. Good morning, guys, and welcome.
Morning. Morning.
Right. So there's a lot happening as it pertains to cricket here on the island right now. And there is the TCA's Global Cricket Series that's in Tobago from July 6th to 16th. Talk to us a bit about that, Mr. Berry.
Yeah, so we've got, it's an under-16 cricket tournament that's being hosted on the island. We're playing cricket at 5 grounds, so Shaw Park, obviously, Mariah, Roxburgh, and we've also had cricket pitches installed at Plymouth and Speyside, especially for the tournament, but obviously they will have a legacy of being available to play cricket on going forward. We've got 8 teams with 3 from the UK, 1 from Barbados, 3 from Trinidad, and a Tobago under-16s.
Excellent. And Marcus, even as we look at, our ability to come out and support the teams in the games, is this open to the public, and, give us the dates?
Yeah, definitely. I want to say thanks to Chris and all the persons behind the scenes responsible for having this initiative in Tobago. It's been a while. We have had an international tournament of this magnitude in Tobago, and we are always inviting persons to come out and support the youngsters. Yesterday it started off with a really good 100 from our local boy Fabrice Lynch down at the Plymouth Recreational Ground.
We haven't had cricket improvement for quite a while, and I'm expecting with the weather better today, because yesterday we had some stops and starts because of the rain. And based on what I saw before I came in here, it was very sunny. So yeah, we are inviting the public to come out and support. We have teams from the UK, Barbados, Trinidad, some of the best youngsters available out of those countries. And of course, we are expecting them to come and support the Tobago team as well. We started off with a very good win, playing again today in Moriah at 10 against another UK team. So all of Tobago, you are welcome to come out. It's free of charge. Under 16, these guys are the future of cricket for their respective countries.
Excellent. And Mr. Berry, tell us why it's important for youths, especially in Tobago, to have that exposure of, playing with other young persons from throughout the region and, that are international as well.
I think the opportunities for kids to mix and socialize with other children from different cultures, different backgrounds is really important. And cricket is a sport where it doesn't really matter where you're from. If you've got the passion for that sport, you will share that with the other people your age and the other players. And it will create lifelong memories. I mean, we're working closely with the with the tourist board here in Tobago, and I've been a few times now. I've absolutely fallen in love with the country, and the fact that we get to showcase how beautiful it is. People get to visit the entire island. With games at Speyside, they've got to go all the length of the island to get there, and they'll see and experience everything that I've experienced while I'm here. And those kids will come back and they'll bring their kids back and they'll stay in contact with the people they play with in this tournament. So, we've run tournaments and cricket tours across the world for years. And I know that even from the first ones, the kids are still in touch with the kids that they met whilst they're on those tours. And I just think it's important that people see the value in cricket. We grow the game, especially here in the Caribbean, where perhaps in the last few years, in the last sort of 20 years, it's not been as popular as it used to be. And if we can grow the game, I'm sure Marcus will agree, it's like a great opportunity to get more kids involved. And yeah, I just think coming here and visiting the Caribbean, sort of the home, one of the spiritual homes of cricket is a fantastic opportunity.
Excellent. And do the kids have opportunities to socialize outside of the actual games?
Yes. Yeah. So we're putting on a couple of events that will mean that they all get to mix. So the first one is we're going to do the Buku Reef boat tour and beach barbecue. But then the big one is we have a goat racing event in Buku on Sunday. So this coming Sunday, which will be open to the public. There's going to be 5 or 6 races. I think it start about 4 o'clock. Should be vendors there, hopefully. And the players are going to get the opportunity to race the goat.
Wow.
So, which is quite a unique thing, I think, for anyone to have that opportunity.
Excellent. Marcus, why do you think that it's important for us to have these international partnerships, specifically in the area of cricket?
Yeah, and when we heard about the tournament, because we would have hosted the regional under-17 tournament a couple of years back, 3 consecutive years, and we got to see the likes of Alzari Joseph and Shimon Hetmeyer, who are now playing for the West Indies. And Fabrice Lynch, he scored 100 yesterday, and I'm sure that the other teams are now aware of Fabrice Lynch. There's an opportunity there for him now to probably get a contract in England, because I got the same opportunity when a team visited us here, scored 10 runs against them, and I was invited to visit in England for like 10 months. So this is indeed a really good opportunity for our youngsters. And of course, with these international tournaments, they have to be infrastructure. So there's now scoreboards erected on all the recreational grounds, of which we have been asking for quite a while. They have boundary ropes, and they have extra covers, they have rollers and all these different things. So coming from the Tobago Cricket Association perspective, we are delighted to have these initiatives in Tobago, because obviously you know how we do. We are the best host, and when it comes to hospitality, we put on our best show. So at the Tobago Cricket Association, we are very happy. And we are hoping that we can continue this partnership and maybe grow the event. We have 8 teams this year, and hopefully next year we can have more. In fact, double that, Chris, and make it a longer stay on the island of Tobago.
Right. And which one of the teams should we be looking out for right now? Well, which one of the teams are really, performing at optimum since the tournament has started?
Well, we were a bit unfortunate yesterday in that there was quite a bit of rain, so we didn't get as many games in as we'd wanted. But obviously, we'll be looking out for the Tobago side. I think they obviously already showed they're very strong with a player getting 100 and quite a few wickets shared out amongst that team. It looked like a strong team. I'm not going to choose any other team from the UK. I've got to be impartial, really. But yeah, I don't know, Marcus. You might know some of the others as well.
Well, given that I'm wearing the hat of the Cricket Association, of course, I don't want our Tobago team to be victorious. But at the end of the day, cricket will always be the winner, and I'm delighted to see all these youngsters with their parents and their coaches coming to put their best foot forward in foreign territory, because sometimes you play good and you play good at home, and these are different conditions, and I'm really hoping that they don't get carried away with the hospitality here and don't go out there and play good cricket.
Right, and just again, this is the Global Cricket Series that's happening in Tobago right now, and it's from July 6th to 16th, and we've seen a number of different teams come out and be a part of that. Who are some of the organizations that are behind this, that's supporting this cricket tournament?
So TTAL, EIDCOT, THA, TCA. I mean, the tournament came about from a meeting in at the World Travel Market in London I think it was October or November 2023, and I met with the Chief Secretary, Mr. Augustine, and talked to him about this idea of hosting a cricket tournament on the island. And from there, we've been communicating and working towards this goal of getting the tournament running. We're looking at running it for at least the next 5 years, and yeah, it's been a long process, but we're here now, and all those guys have given all their support, made this thing happen, and I can't thank them enough.
Excellent. Marcus, again, as we wrap up the discussion this morning, drive home how important these type of tournaments are to, developing the youth, specifically in the area of cricket, and giving them that exposure that is needed to help drive the sport.
Yeah, indeed, and that's an important word to use, exposure, because I've often said it that we have the talent, but when it comes to exposing our talent, we hardly have avenues. So I'm happy that we have this initiative, and we actually in our domestic season, we started off with our 2-day cricket league. We had our T20, we have our 25 overs, in which we are honoring our first vice president who unfortunately passed last year, Mr. Earl Hatter. So that's still ongoing. We have had Dream 11 matches, and then the youngsters not getting the opportunity to play these shorter formats. So they have a competition now where they can hone their talents, and we can actually see if they are really taking to the coaching that we have actually put in place. So I know for a fact, with their parents supporting them, their schoolmates supporting them, the Tobago Cricket Association supporting them, they'll want to use this exposure to see how best they can address scouts. Because Chris and they are obviously looking for players as well. As I said, I went away and I played. I was the only West Indian playing with some guys I've never met before, and we are still friends to today. So these initiatives or these competitions, the exposure is always what I always welcome, and I'm really hoping that they make the best use of this opportunity and put their best foot forward.
Excellent. And again, I just want you to encourage persons to come out and be a part of the tournament and support the youngsters.
Yeah.
And we've got supporters travelled from the UK as well. So it'd be great if the local community can come out and support either their own team or other teams that are playing at their local grounds.
Yeah, and of course matches are 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. daily for the T20s, and then let's take us through. From the T20s, they have a plate and a cup as well?
Yeah, so once we finish the round of T20s, we go into a 50-over tournament on Thursday? So starting on Thursday, which is 3 days of 50-over cricket, which will be in a plate and a shield group. So the stronger teams in the a cup and a shield. So the stronger teams in the cup, and the slightly weaker teams will be in the shield. So everyone's still got something to play for, no matter what happens in the first round of games. And then so that would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday's goat racing day, Monday's finals day. We're looking to host the finals at Shore Park and hopefully Plymouth.
Excellent. Well, again, we want to thank you guys for coming on this morning and telling us all about that global cricket tournament, the cricket series that's happening here on the island of Tobago. And we look forward to, as you said, Marcus, bigger and better next year.
Bigger and better next
having
year.
more teams, maybe even from different regions. Maybe we see some people from Asia, Africa, joining that tournament.
Yeah, we're hoping to sort of spread out to as many countries as we can.
Excellent. Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break right here and we'll be back right after this. So see you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning.
Hello, New York. Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe Land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17th, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. But I forget to tell all you, it's we 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Lights, cameras, dance. Our 12th edition on Saturday the 12th of July, 5 p.m. The Shore Park Cultural Complex Auditorium. See our dancers, all ages, compete in waltz, jive, rumba, salsa, mambo, and much more. Our Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Who will take home the Mirrorball Trophy? Mrs. Takiana Ned Augustine, the wife of the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. Miss Lynette Louis, vocalist entertainer. Mrs. Cassandra Thompson Forbes, journalist and Tobago correspondent. Mr. Javon Carrington, founder and head trainer of Dosfit Studios, and Mr. Julian Skeet, administrator and former TV host. After show dance party with DJ Santa out of Trinidad. Early bird tickets, adults $200, children $75, and general tickets, adults $250 and children $100. Get your early bird tickets now from Dance Ensemble members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford the 24 gas station in Canaan, and the Shore Park Cultural Complex box office. For more information, you call 772-9049 and 340-5758. You can't miss this one.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause it's this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look out below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look out below, 'cause this is your show.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Guys, just a reminder that if you're planning home renovations this summer, there's great news. Tobago Glass Supply is having a massive summer sale. This is your chance to get heavy-duty door frames sizes 28 to 80 inches up to 72 by 80 inches. Perfect for any renovation or build. Don't miss this summer savings. Visit Tobago Glass Supply at Rousseau Church Spring Garden or call them at 639-6266. That's 639-6266. Remember, Tobago Glass Supply, reflecting quality. So get those deals today. Again, guys, this is your opportunity. If you're building, renovating, be sure to go down to Tobago Glass Supplies and check them out. So this morning we continue our discussions and we're talking all about International Cooperatives Day. And this morning we have on with us our guest, Mr. Jerome Chambers, who is the Executive Manager of the Cooperative Development Office of the Commissioner of Cooperatives. Good morning and welcome. Your mic is muted. All right. So good morning and welcome. Tell us all about International Cooperatives Day.
Isn't muted. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Nice. Okay.
So
We
as
had
I
some
said before,
technical
tell us
difficulties
all
this morning.
about International
Okay.
Cooperatives Day.
Now it's interesting because lots of people simply focus on credit unions alone. But believe it or not, this is actually the 103rd celebration of International Cooperative Day. 103. So that's the foundation. In order, now I'll reference the credit unions because most people are familiar with that. But a credit union is first and foremost a cooperative. Yeah? There are many different types of cooperative. And in the first Saturday of July, every single year, for the last 103 years, we have celebrated International Cooperative Day. Yeah? Now, this is particularly interesting for us in 2025 because 2025 was designated by the United Nations as the International Year of Cooperatives. So that is also happening. Cooperatives contribute about 20 billion, that's B, dollars in terms of assets in Trinidad and Tobago. You have about 129 active credit unions in particular, about 73 what we call non-financial cooperatives, so that's non-credit unions. And they span a range of sectors, transport, agriculture, property development, retail, consumer, and we also have about 103 junior cooperative societies. Those are cooperatives that are based in primary and secondary schools. So you see there's a lot happening there, a lot of contributions towards the sector, lots of activity.
Excellent. And what are the purpose of cooperatives within the overall society, and how does it help to shape or move the society forward?
Well, cooperatives are economic engines. That's probably the best way I can say it to you. And if one had to try to get at a definition, if you were, of cooperatives, it would simply be an organization where you have a group of people coming together to achieve some sort of primarily economic goal that either they could not achieve on their own or it would be extremely difficult for them to achieve. So let's say a traditional one. Let's say everyone has to buy groceries, yeah? So that what if we decided we would come together, pool our resources, buy those grocery items in bulk, let's say from NFM, just off the top of the head, we would then subdivide what we bought into portions suitable for each of our needs. Because we buy groceries, let's say once a fortnight, once a month, one or two items maybe once a week. Now, if we did that, we are essentially having this group activity, which would be a coming together of persons in cooperation for consumer goods and items, and we would call that a consumer cooperative. And that is essentially is how El Dorado Consumer Cooperatives started many, many years ago. Let's take another example. And incidentally, there are at least one or two credit unions in Tobago that I can think of that have gone in this particular direction. We all want a home. But sometimes, particularly in these last few years, getting a home is not exactly the cheapest thing in the world. So what if we pooled our resources and we bought land, real property, that we then subdivided and made available for sale for our individual members? If we did that, we would then have a housing cooperative or a land ownership cooperative. So those are just two examples of how you can use the cooperative business model to achieve economic resilience, to achieve economic advancement. Yeah.
Excellent. And even the office of the Commissioner of Cooperative Development. Tell us, how does that organization work to facilitate capacity building, growth, and overall development of cooperative societies like those credit unions and other organizations?
Some interesting questions, like I prepared for me this morning. Well, it is actually a state agency. We currently fall under the Ministry of Labor. Previously, it would have been under the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. But we are operated and we are established by an Act of Parliament. It is actually Chapter 8103 of the Laws of Trinidad and Tobago. It is called the Cooperative Societies Act. And under that particular Act of Parliament, under Section 2 to be exact, it says, there shall be a Commissioner for Cooperative Development who will perform the duties of registrar and will have general powers of supervision. So that we take you from birth to death, as it were. Strange analogy, but so that if you have a group of people that were desirous of forming a cooperative, they would pass through the office of the commissioner. An officer or officers would be assigned to them in terms of properly explaining what cooperatives are about, what is the economic model, what their constitution is supposed to look like, that is to say their bylaws. We even assist them in terms of doing up a business plan. After we are satisfied that this particular enterprise meets the cooperative ideal, then we would register them. They get legal status. So while a business registered under the Companies Act would have a certificate of incorporation, we give them a certificate of registration. And every cooperative that you are familiar with now, even those that are celebrating their 60-something anniversary, all of those would have passed through. I can give you perhaps 2 examples to help your viewers or your listeners understand just how far we have come. Yeah, may I?
Understood. Right. And even as it pertains to, educating the public on your presence and you being around and what you do, what type of activities have you guys been doing? And I mean, even as it is International Cooperatives Day, tell us about some of the work that you are doing.
Okay. Well, for us, it's never a dull moment. Let me say it that way. Because people are always coming, they want information. We also assist a number of students who are doing research into the cooperative business model. There are a number of people actually who are doing their PhD work, who we assist because we have files on every single cooperative. One of the examples I wanted to give you. Many years ago, there were a number of employees who worked in the Red House in particular. And they had identified needs in terms of savings and credit and the like. So they banded together and they then formed what was then called the Red House and Neighboring Districts Credit Union. Now, you might say to yourself, but I've never heard of it. But you have, because they've been around for more than 60 years. And eventually, they changed that long name to an acronym that became a word. Red House and Neighboring Districts, RHAND, Rand Credit Union, which is currently the 6th largest credit union in the country. Yeah? I can give you yet another interesting example. Again, just to show you how far we have come. Many years ago, again, the employees of Bermuda's Biscuit employees, they identified a need, credit, savings, and the like. They banded together in a warehouse in Bermuda's Biscuit factory, and they formed what was then called the Bermuda's Biscuit Employees Credit Union. They grew. They were in part of an industrial estate in the eastern region in Trinidad, yeah, and they went on from Bermuda's Biscuit Employees Credit Union to become Eastern Industrial Credit Union. And then they grew out of the industrial estate and came on the east-west corridor, and they became Eastern Credit Union. Yeah. So these are the things that we do on a daily basis. In particular, for International Year of Cooperatives, we have been having a number of what we call stakeholder engagement. So rather than wait for issues to come, because if you have a problem with your cooperative that you're a member of, shareholder of, we are the port of call. We resolve disputes so that since we have a handle on what happens in every single cooperative in the country, we have started to have these public meetings for International Year of Cooperative, where we actually go out to different venues. The last one we had would have been in Cipriani College. I know there is a consideration to have something in Shore Park as well, where all members of credit unions, of cooperatives in Tobago can come, interact, ask questions, get their questions answered. We also would be engaging with the officials, members of the board, supervisory, credit committees, in terms of if we have seen something happen in another cooperative that we can perhaps nip in the bud or give assistance to, no, I'm not saying that there's a problem, I just call them names, yeah? So Tobago-based credit unions such as Thor, Mount Pleasant, we interact with them. And in order to do this efficiently, we actually have offices, sub-offices everywhere in Trinidad and Tobago. So there is a sub-office in Tobago that is called the Cooperative Development Unit, CDU. They fall ostensibly under the Division of Finance. In Trinidad, our head office would be on St. Vincent Street, but we also have, and it's brought over from the old county council days, so we have an office in County Victoria, which is San Fernando. We have one in County Carney, which is Chaconas. We have one in Sandy Grande, and we have one in Siparia. So we make it as easy as possible for members of the public to reach to us to get resolutions for their problems.
Okay, and even as it pertains to utilizing the success models of particular credit unions to recommend investment and fiscal policies to the government, is that done by your organization?
Yeah, every year we would contribute information, statistical data to Central Bank, to Ministry of Finance for the planning of the budget, and I should highlight, maybe last year in particular, leading into this year, we have been working much, much closer, not only with Central Bank, but with the FIU, because we actually have a MOU between the division and Central Bank, and an MOU with FIU. Many people would not be aware that Trinidad and Tobago was actually undergoing a regional risk assessment by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. We also would participate in things like that because cooperatives are financial entities. They may be classed as non-bank financial institutions, but these are places where citizens invest money. They expect a certain level of stability, a certain level of security. And one of the highlights for me, if you invest money in a cooperative as opposed to another financial entity, you are not just an account holder. You are not just a client. You are actually part owner of the entity. And being part owner of the entity, you have a greater say, a greater opportunity to contribute so that let's say you invest in shares in a financial entity, a commercial bank, that does not automatically entitle you to attend an annual general meeting, or you do not necessarily have enough shares to vote. But in a cooperative, there's a unique difference. It is one share, one man, one vote. So that whether I have $500 in shares, whether I have $5,000 in shares, I am still entitled to attend the annual general meeting. I am still entitled to vote. And if I am in good standing, I am still entitled or eligible to be elected to serve the other members. So those are some of the important things there.
Excellent. And if persons are interested in creating their own cooperatives, because as you indicated before, your organization, the commission, works with groups from beginning to end. How can they reach out to you? What is the process of getting that assistance to maybe start a new credit union or any type of cooperative society that might benefit the economic development of their community or island, as we look at in the case of Tobago?
Easy. The CDU Cooperative Development Unit is housed in the Victor E. Bruce Financial Complex. You can reach out there. You can write a letter. Well, normally we always insist you write a letter to keep the records going to the Commissioner for Cooperative Development. Like I mentioned, we are under Ministry of Labor. Our head office is on St. Vincent Street, and you can take it from them. There's also a general email you can use. It is Commissioner CDD. So that's Commissioner CDD as in Cooperative Development Division at gov.tt. So at gov.tt. And once it is you send that in, you're inside, as they say. We'll
Right.
take care of it.
Is there a limit on the amount of, finances that can be generated through a cooperative society? For example, if there were to be an investment fund, does this fall particularly under you? Let's say, for instance, it's a general or, one of those investment funds that allow persons to invest in mutual funds that benefit different businesses. Can they come to you to start up that type of thing?
Different type of business, right? And we have cooperatives in the past where people wanted to concentrate on savings and investments per se. We would need to be comfortable with the structure and the particular business model, because at the end of the day, you're talking about people's hard-earned funds. In some cases, this might be people's life savings. So we always need to be very, very careful where that is concerned. But there is no limit per se. If you want to talk about limits, I will say there is like a minimum limit in terms of the amount of people that we need to see before we register a cooperative, because it is a group activity. And there are figures like, let's say normally like around 25 people, because you need to allocate an adequate number of people to serve on the board of directors, and boards are actually either 9 persons or 12 persons traditionally. You must have enough for the supervisory committee. The supervisory committee is like the internal audit committee that's laid down in the statute. So that will be either 3 persons or 5 persons. You need 2 substitutes for each grouping. So if you check 12, you check 5, and if it's specifically a credit union, the credit committee normally is about 5 persons, 2 substitutes as well. And of course, you must have general members. So that's the thinking behind the 25. But in terms of maximum amount, the 2 largest credit unions we have in the country, I think their membership is in excess of 200,000 people. So that no maximum there. And in terms of their individual assets, we have at least 2 credit unions whose asset base has crossed $2 billion each. So, no maximum there.
Excellent. Well, Mr. Chambers, we know that a number of persons would be reaching out to you after this interview to get more information or just to get their businesses started or get their ideas off the ground. And, finally, with these financial entities, do they have to be registered on the Securities and Exchanges or with you, or do they have to do both?
TSEC, as we normally call them, under our legislation, there are particular rules, guidelines, restrictions as to where cooperatives can invest their money. So that, firstly, if it is a state or central bank licensed entity, such as a commercial bank, then there's a blanket approval. They can invest there. If it is something that is not a state-backed, state-secured, or licensed entity, then they need the permission of the commissioner in order to invest there. So you can't just invest wherever you please, yeah? But we are the regulator for all of those things, right? We have investment analysts who work in the department so that whatever investment, the cooperative sends it to us, we review it. In some cases, we meet with the entity who is proposing the investment to properly see what's going on, and then we give approval, or in some cases, we do not give approval.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you so much, Mr. Chambers, for this informative session this morning. I know that a lot of us have been thoroughly educated, and we look forward to a number of other sessions and educational forums from the cooperatives. As you indicated, there may be one of those events happening in Tobago in the near future where all cooperative society members would be able to come together, ask questions, have their questions answered, or even, bring some of their issues to the fore. And again, we want to thank you and your colleagues for choosing us here at Tobago Updates, and we hope you have a great day. Guys, we want to thank you so much for sticking with us this morning. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments, and all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am your host, Chanel Felix, and have a wonderful day.
The energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong.